The first thing I noticed about you was that you made the world seem brighter, as if everything had suddenly shifted into focus. When I first saw you, it wasn't just your smile that caught my attention, but how you made every moment feel like it mattered. The first thing I noticed about you was how effortlessly you filled the space around you with warmth, as though your presence alone could melt away the cold. You made me realize that true beauty isn't just in appearances, but in the way you make people feel when you're around. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made the ordinary extraordinary, turning even the smallest moments into memories. It wasn't just how you looked, but how you made me feel like I was the only person in the room. The first thing I noticed about you was that you made me believe in the magic of life again, as if nothing was impossible. You made me feel things I hadn't felt in years: joy, excitement, a deep sense of peace all at once. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made the world seem softer, kinder, and full of possibilities. You made me realize how much more there is to life than the routines we get caught up in. You opened my eyes to the beauty of spontaneity. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made every day feel like a fresh start, full of potential and new beginnings. It wasn't just your voice that captured me, but how you made every word sound like a promise of something greater. The first thing I noticed about you was the way you made me feel like I was enough, just as I am. You made me understand that sometimes the most powerful connection comes not from what's said, but from what's felt. The first thing I noticed about you was that you made every part of me feel alive, igniting a spark I hadn't known existed. You made me see that there's so much more to a person than what meets the eye. It's about the energy they carry with them. The first thing I noticed about you was that you made me feel at home, even in places I had never been before. You made me feel understood in a way I hadn't experienced before, as though every thought and feeling was validated. The first thing I noticed about you was that you made my heart race in a way that felt both thrilling and comforting at once. You made me realize that there's beauty in vulnerability, in showing up as your true self and letting others see you. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made everything seem simpler, as if the world had suddenly become clearer. You made me feel like I could conquer anything, as if your belief in me was enough to push me past my limits. The first thing I noticed about you was how effortlessly you seemed to bring joy to those around you, as if happiness was contagious. You made me realize how much power there is in just being present, in fully experiencing each moment without distractions. The first thing I noticed about you was that you made even silence feel like a conversation, full of meaning and depth. You made me believe in the possibility of something greater, something beyond what I could see or touch. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me see the beauty in the chaos, finding peace in places I thought were lost. You made me feel seen, not just in the way I look, but in the way I am, all the messy, beautiful parts of me. The first thing I noticed about you was how your presence seemed to calm the storm inside me, making everything feel more manageable. You made me realize that there's more to life than what we chase. Sometimes it's the moments we pause to appreciate that matter the most. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel understood without needing to say a word. You made me want to be better, to be more, not for anyone else, but for myself. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made every day feel like an adventure waiting to unfold. You made me see that the best relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not just shared moments. The first thing I noticed about you was how your energy made the room feel alive, like a spark had been ignited in the air. You made me realize that sometimes the most beautiful things happen when we stop trying to control everything. The first thing I noticed about you was how effortlessly you could turn the most mundane moments into something unforgettable. You made me understand the power of empathy, how a simple gesture can completely change someone's day. The first thing I noticed about you was how your eyes seemed to hold a depth that made me feel like you could see right through me. You made me realize that love is less about grand gestures and more about the little things, the moments that only we can share. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. You made me appreciate the beauty of the present moment, teaching me to savor life's simple pleasures. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I was truly seen and heard in a way no one else had before. You made me believe that there's something extraordinary in everyone, even if it's not always visible at first. The first thing I noticed about you was how your laughter made everything feel lighter, as if the weight of the world was lifted for a while. You made me realize that true happiness comes from within, from accepting and embracing who we are. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made even the most difficult moments feel easier to navigate. You made me understand that there's no such thing as perfection, just moments, experiences, and emotions to embrace. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I had a place in this world, a purpose to fulfill. You made me realize that life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, but about making the most of each one. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I was important, like my thoughts and feelings truly mattered. You made me understand that it's okay to be vulnerable, to let my guard down and trust in the process. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel more connected to myself, to my desires and dreams. You made me realize that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, a decision to show up for someone every day. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made the simplest things feel extraordinary, as if magic was hiding in plain sight. You made me understand that it's not the destination, but the journey we take together that matters most. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel more alive, as though every breath was a reminder of how precious life is. You made me realize that sometimes all we need is someone who truly sees us, flaws, imperfections, and all. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made every conversation feel important, like each word mattered. You made me understand that the greatest gift we can give each other is the space to be who we truly are without judgment. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I belonged, as if I'd been searching for you all along. You made me realize that life isn't about the big moments. It's about the small, quiet ones shared with someone who matters. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me want to slow down and truly savor the moment. You made me see that sometimes the most powerful connection are the ones we don't expect or plan for. The first thing I noticed about you was how your presence made everything feel lighter, like a weight had been lifted from my heart. You made me realize that love isn't just about finding someone, it's about discovering parts of yourself through them. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel safe, like I could finally let my guard down. You made me see that true connection is built in the spaces between words, in the silences where we just exist together. The first thing I noticed about you was how your kindness seemed to radiate, touching everyone around you. You made me understand that the greatest gifts in life aren't things, but the people who make us feel alive. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me want to be better for you, but also for myself. You made me realize that happiness isn't something we find, it's something we create together. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel like I was enough, just as I am, flaws and all. You made me believe in the possibility of soulmates, of meeting someone who feels like they were made for you. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made every conversation feel like the most important one I'd ever have. You made me realize that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. Sometimes it's found in the quiet moments. The first thing I noticed about you was how you made me feel seen, like you truly understood the parts of me I kept hidden. You made me understand that the most valuable thing we can offer each other is time and genuine attention. The first thing I noticed about you was how your laughter had the power to brighten even the darkest days.